Greetings, folks. Today is Monday, March 18, 2019. I'm Tom Lineweaver, and the Constitution matters. And you can see by the photo what exactly I want to talk about regarding the Constitution, and the issue is marriage. What does the Constitution say about marriage? Absolutely nothing. But that doesn't mean marriage doesn't have any constitutional implications. Okay, I'm going to read to you, and I'm not going to do this ever again. Well, maybe I will. But I want to read to you Article 6 of the Constitution. Listen up, folks. Okay. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. Okay. So, that's basically saying we're going to be responsible. That's all it's saying. We're going to take care of our debts. Even though we're changing the law, we're changing the Constitution, we're still going to be under the debts that we were before. Okay, now, that's not the issue. The issue is coming up. The Constitution, pay attention, folks, the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof. That's an important word. In pursuance thereof. All laws of the United States must be in pursuance to the Constitution. Okay? That's basically what that says. And if there is a law that is not in pursuance to the Constitution, it's unconstitutional and it should not be enforced. It should be ignored, really. Okay. And all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land. The supreme law of the land. So we have the Constitution and all the laws in pursuance to the Constitution, and treaties under the authority of the United States are part of the supreme law of the land. Now pay attention. This is important. Judges in every state. Okay? Judges are those people who adjudicate the law wherever they are. If you're a judge in Pennsylvania, you have to adjudicate the laws of Pennsylvania. All right? Or the United States, depending on what the law is. All right. Judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Bound by the supreme law of the land. All right? Isn't that simple to understand? Judges in every state are bound by the U.S. Constitution and the treaties. Okay. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding, meaning saying that if there's any law that is not in pursuance to the Constitution, it is contrary to the Constitution and it should not be. So judges, when there's a law that comes their way, they have to say whether or not it is constitutional. Now, let's keep going. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial offices, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to sit to any office or public trust under the United States. Okay. All right. No religious test. Remember that. So, Glenn Beck, shut up about the religion of Ilhan Omar. You see, you don't care about the Constitution, do you? Anyway, okay. Well, there you have Article 6. And it basically establishes what the supreme law of the land is. Maybe I should wait a couple hours. I just basically woke up, like 20 minutes ago. I actually did get some sleep. Anyway, so maybe I should wait a couple hours till I'm fully awake, and then maybe my tongue won't get in my way. Anyway, okay, so we are all under the supreme law of the land. That includes our Constitution and the treaties made under the authority of the United States. And that I have a problem with. And I think we need an amendment to address this situation. You see, you might not be able to get a law passed in the United States, but you might make a treaty with another country that will allow you to do the same otherwise. And I have a problem with that. We have a treaty with the United Nations to follow the Charter. And, if the United Nations comes up with a rule that we have to disarm, it goes against our Constitution. So I don't think we should have treaties that go against our own Constitution. All right? So, because, liberal Democrats can make a treaty with Timbuktu to make us get rid of our guns. Think about it. All right. Now, so we now have the supreme law of the land. We now have every elected official in the United States must take an oath or affirmation to support the Constitution of the United States. Okay, there you go. Everybody, including Dogcatcher, is bound by the Constitution. All right? The supreme law of the land. Okay, now, you might be saying, you didn't say one word about marriage yet. You're right, I didn't. This is all a setup. I'm setting this up. I'm setting up what I'm going to say about marriage shortly. This has to go before. Understanding that the United States Constitution is part of the Supreme Court of the land. That includes amendments. Because when an amendment is ratified, it is part of the Constitution. All right? Okay. So I want to read to you. Let's see if I can find it. I want to read to you that's the 14th Amendment. Okay, I want to read to you the 9th Amendment. Okay, and this is something I haven't really considered a whole lot of, because I've been a champion for the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the 10th Amendment. Okay? But I think the 9th Amendment is kind of important too. Let me read it to you. Now pay attention. You're in class. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Now, do you get that? Do you get that? That means we have a Bill of Rights. They establish certain rights of the people. But they're also saying with the 9th Amendment that there could be other rights retained by the people. So guess what? The 9th Amendment is a part of the Constitution. It is a part of the supreme law of the land. Now, the question is marriage a right of the people protected by the Ninth Amendment? Is it? If it is, there should not be any laws about it. The state legislatures and the governors of the states take an oath to support the Constitution, including the Ninth Amendment. And so, if it's a right, such as in the Second Amendment, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed, that simply means no law shall be passed. That gun control legislation is unconstitutional. All right. What about marriage? If it is an established right of the people, and I think it is, all right? I mean, let's take a look at what it was like before government starts stealing power from the people. That's right. Just as the federal government is stealing power from the states, the federal government and state governments are stealing power from the people by making laws about things that you have a right to do. All right? So, marriage as a right of the people shall not be curtailed. All right? Now, I'm not talking about the morality of the issue. I am talking about the constitutionality of the issue. Constitutionally, if an older man wants to marry a younger girl, who's to stop him? Well, the parents might. Down through history, parents have controlled marriage. And so all these laws that take control out of the hands of parents, like, for example, marriage licenses, get rid of them. What about age discrimination? Get rid of it. It is up to the parents whether a 15-year-old can marry a 30-year-old. That should be up to the parents. Okay? So, to take all that away, that power away from the parents, is unconstitutional based on the Ninth Amendment. Marriage has been a part of our history forever. Who is the United States government to say that we can control it? Thousands of years of history. And in a lot of those years, parents had arranged marriages. So, there are laws that say you can't get married without your parents' consent until you're 18 years old. Hey, get rid of that law. You have no right to pass that law. If marriage is a law, if marriage is a right protected by the Ninth Amendment, then there should be no law. But laws in this state are pretty much taking marriage out of the hands of the parents. All right? So, marriage is a right of the people, and government should keep their hands off. That means get rid of marriage licenses. When this country was forming and when this country began, even under this Constitution, What was marriage like? Huh? Marriage was in the hands of the parents, was it not? There was no such thing as government control of marriage. And there neither, nor should there be today. Right? Marriage liberty. We need marriage liberty today. We should not have any government controlling any part of marriage. So, well, parents have arranged marriages. Hey, this mother just had a baby girl. This mother just had a baby boy. They're friends, and so they say when they get to be 16 years old, they're going to get married. Arranged marriages that have been part of our history forever. Okay? So any government rule, regulation that says otherwise should be done for. Like, for example, giving people the right to be married without their parents' consent at the age of 18. Get rid of it. I know some people are going to flog me. They might think about flogging me for saying this because, yeah, I took notice as a movement saying, let's get rid of child marriages. And I know what they mean by that. Look, if a parent gives consent, a 9-year-old can marry a 30-year-old. Okay? It's a constitutionally valid right of the people. You can't take your moral stance and put it on somebody else. See, I'm not addressing the morality of this issue. I'm addressing the constitutionality of this issue. If a parent says the 9-year-old girl can marry a 30-year-old man, okay, that's it. That's the way it should be. And the only proof of that marriage, or any marriage there should be, is the certificate from the church. Or, I don't think we should make common law marriages illegal. So how can you prove a common law marriage? Some people say, well, if you live together for 7 years, that's it. That's not what it is. If you act as husband and wife, if you live together and you act as husband and wife, that's a common law marriage without any licenses or anything. And I think that our governments should recognize common law marriage. Let's say a woman lives with a guy and she changes her last name to his last name on a driver's license. That would be a legal document proving the name change. And that would be enough to prove marriage. And it would be enough to prove divorce. So, ladies, if you want to, get on with a rich guy. Change your last name to his on a legal form, and then boom, go get him. It's just a thought. Okay. Oh my goodness, I went 19 minutes. Oh well. Now I hope you understand what I'm saying. Yes, I am saying that if a man wants to marry a man, there's no law against that. I'm not talking about morality. All right? I'm talking about constitutionality. Marriage is a right of the people to determine and that the people have the right to determine it any way they want. All right? Get that? All right. Well, that's my commentary. Actually, that's Constitutional Matters for today. I haven't done it for a while. But that's Constitutional Matters for today. Thank you for listening.